Hey everybody, it's Noah with Scorestone Strategies. Today I'm here joined, got a little bit of the mic stuck back there. This is Kyler today. How you doing, Kyler?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing good. So first I want to get started, jump right straight into it. What's kind of like your background and like kind of origin story? How'd you start out in spray net and then everything?
Yeah, so I have a finance degree, have an MBA, and kind of started out in finance in my career, and got introduced to revenue management with Hilton Hotels, and worked my way up with Hilton and ended with Hyatt. And when the pandemic hit in 2020, the hospitality industry as a whole was deeply affected. And so I saw about 75% of my colleagues get laid off, furloughed, and then that turned into layoffs. And, thankfully that wasn't me, but it gave me a little push to go take a risk and look for a way to start my own business. And so SprayNet is a painting franchise. And one of the things several of the things that really drew me to it were that we're unique in that we make our own coatings. It's recession proof. Yeah. People have been painting since the dawn of time, and it allowed me freedom in my day, in my schedule, which was something really important to me with my family. And so I looked at probably 12 different franchises, working with a franchise coach, and I saw a before and after picture of SprayNet that really caught my eye. I showed my wife. She was like, let's do that to our home. And that's really what got me started with SprayNet back in 2021.
Okay. So with people out there like looking to get into a franchise, number one thing is figuring out what is the number one thing. I know you said pretty much looking at the before and after, kind of like the quality. I know quality is a big thing for you. But what would be another thing that someone would look at when trying to be a franchise owner?
I think you got to look at what your definition of success is, right? There's a lot of different franchises out there. There's franchises that are, you can do part-time. There's franchises that you can do passively, just an investor. And then there's franchises like this one where it really takes an operator in it. And I think success looks different for everybody. Typically, it's a combo of hey, what am I going to take home? And how much money am I going to make? How much freedom am I going to have? And am I going to enjoy what I do? And so I think it looks different for everyone what that number one thing is. For me, I have a growing family. I have 3 little girls, and I wanted something that I could build and grow until to where it really becomes an investment that I can hand down to my family, and eventually be absent of, and have it as an investment and not just something that I'm doing every single day.
Okay. So you're looking more as to like build the company as an operator and then kind of go into more of that as you say, like private equity or something like that, where you kind of own the business and it's kind of just being a cash cow for you, more or less.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for me, I wanted to do something that created freedom for my family. That was kind of priority. And so I wanted something to where a successful business, if you're going to sell it, you can't be the one operating it every day. And so my goal with this company is to get it to where I put the processes in place. SprayNet's provided a great process to assist with that, and that eventually I can step out and run the business from afar and not be in it 100% of the time.
So something that I found interesting is I know there's different business owners. Some of them just start way from scratch, and then some are franchise owners like yourself. What was the reason why you went with like a franchise coach, like you said? What was the reason why you went with a franchise coach instead of just starting it up by yourself?
Instead of just starting a business from scratch?
Yeah, just starting it from scratch and being like, this is Kyler's, painting.
Yeah, great point. So like I said, I have 3 kids.
Yeah.
And so failure rate was something that I really had to look into. SprayNet has a proven process. And, while I could go and probably put together a business plan and start a business from scratch, new businesses typically have like an 80% failure rate. And so with having 3 kids, I wanted to do something that I had a secured network behind me, right? So SprayNet brings a lot of things: a proven process, marketing, sales coaching, operations coaching, that I would have come up on my own or pay someone else, pay another coach to provide for me. And so I just felt like the success rate would have been greater with a company like SprayNet versus doing it all myself.
Okay. So the success rate is a little bit higher in the point of like, because you have a proven process. I didn't know that 80%, like that's pretty steep. That's pretty steep for somebody trying to get into business. I think that also getting into it's kind of like an internship kind of, right? And starting out in that way. So back with like the hotel, so do you think your degree really helped you out in the hotel? And then how's your degree helped you out? Because I know that's a big thing right now where people are trying to choose if they would get straight into business. Me, on one hand, I got straight into business. Like, why did you make the decision, and also how has it helped you, like the college degree route?
Yeah. So I kind of wish that I would have taken your route and started, at 19 or 18, whenever you started your business, and run it that way. But I had the opportunity to play football in college and be on scholarship. And so I was going to school, didn't have a real clear idea of what I wanted to do after school. And so I've always been really good with numbers, and finance was kind of the direction that I went. And then, was still in school and got to start my MBA. So that's the reason I went and got 2 degrees. It's not because I just love school, but yeah. And then it did help me in the hotel industry, coming out and understanding money and the way it works. And the MBA was very good for me. All the research that I had to do through that helped me come out and understand the way that the companies really try to work, and what they're and when you walk into a boardroom, like, what are the goals of the people in the room? And so that's something that an MBA really helped me understand. And it also looks good, right? Great on a resume. Okay. So I do feel like it helped me in my career. And I feel like for as young as I was, had a fairly successful career in that industry. But I've liked working for myself more.
This is really awesome that I had you on today, because I'm actually looking at, in a year's time, getting like a college course or something online. No like prerequisites required or anything like that. What would you say? Would you like, because I want to understand more of the finance side, do you think that's a good thing to look at? Like, because in your story it seemed like it's helped you out a lot. Would that be like a good thing to pop into, get, at least for people who are even just trying to get into business, to get that like financial knowledge from the school system?
Yeah, I think that a university that's priced reasonably, and if you can take the courses that you're really interested in and you think you're going to help you in your career, I think that's a great route. I took a class in animal science, animal science, and my sophomore year in college, and like I've never used that. Okay. Right? So I guess my point there is like, if you have a pathway to, finance is a weak area for you, and you can go strengthen that by taking a certain course, I think that's a great route to go. For you, the path you're on, I'm not sure going and getting a full degree but that's, I'm not the expert. Yeah, but sure. Maybe getting a full degree isn't exactly what you need to do, but if you can go like be very targeted and strategic with the courses you take, yeah, why not?
So like, for people who are just getting started in it, like figuring out specifics, because that's what always kind of irked me with the school system, was that there would be like, get your 2-year degree first and then go in and get your bachelor's and everything like that, when it's like, okay, well, I want to do this, I want to get this specific knowledge here, Why shouldn't I just take that specific knowledge and go after that for that one course? So that's why I'm like, I'm just gonna take an online course. Like, let me just get the information, then be done. But interesting thing, I wanted to know a few stories from like either the job site here or from like the hotel. Like, what are some of like the craziest stories that you've had in both of those industries?
I mean, there's a lot of crazy stories
Yeah.
working in a hotel, and I was always kind of back office, but I guess one of them is when I was. I guess I probably shouldn't talk about the specific hotel.
If you want, we can
But
clip it afterwards. It's all good. It's all good.
There was I worked in a hotel here locally, a big hotel, and right after the pandemic, everything was shut down. We were very low staffed, and so I would have to work in housekeeping, and so I was doing my finance revenue management job during when I could, and in the normal 9 to 5 I was stripping beds and doing the laundry and stuff like that. And we had this group come in from Korea, and they sold out the entire hotel, and of course we're short staffed, and it ends up like someone set off a fire alarm and the ballroom's flooded, and it didn't stop them. They kept meeting, so like they were walking around like in a foot of water in the bottom of this hotel, still going to their meetings. Just one of those crazy things.
You
Like,
just gotta go through it, I guess.
just work through it, and
Yeah.
of course for the cleanup crew it was awful. But
What about for like spray net? Do you have any like? Because I know in sales for sure, because I've been doing sales for a while. There's always those interesting people that pop up. Do you have any that you want to talk about, or is it? I don't know if.
yeah, I don't know about interesting people. You definitely meet a lot of like very unique people, and not everyone always has a great expectation of what you're going to be bringing. Like, they haven't done their research, so sometimes you're just like, guy, why am I even here? But I think for me, one of the biggest takeaways has actually been like managing crews and teams. And one thing that's unique about SprayNet is all of our employees are W-2, because our painting process is a little bit unique. And so I've really gotten to know some of the guys that have come to work for me over the last year and a half or so. And there's this kid named Gabe. He's 20 now. I met him when he was 18 doing jiu-jitsu, and he's the kind of guy that gets up in the morning 4 a.m. like does 100 push-ups or whatever. And so the first like 2 weeks that we worked together, we had several competitions in people's yards. Like, he's like, hey Kyler, let's get some push-ups in, and so but I think like the coolest thing for me is just seeing like some of those people that started with me grow and being able to promote them. And now Gabe, had no experience as an 18-year-old, and he's a 20-year-old full-time painter, and he knows how to run the guns, run the equipment, get the job done, and handle clients. So for me, that's been one of the things I didn't expect as a business owner, that has been very very pleasing.
Yeah, it's nice to see other people grow.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So what can we kind of expect from you in the future? Like, what are your goals right now, and where are you kind of moving into in the future?
Yeah, so one of my best friends has been in software for a long time. Mm-hmm. He recently started this company called Toil, like to work, TOIL, and we actually got that from the Bible, from Paul. When he was among the Thessalonians, he talked about how he worked for them so that they didn't have to provide them anything, and he called it toil, to work. And so this idea of, we want to do the work that you necessarily don't want to do yourself, and we want to toil, we want to work, we want to serve you. And so he started a business and asked me to be a part of it back in February. And so a lot of people know me as the owner of SprayNet, My real role is I'm actually an owner in Toil, and Toil owns SprayNet, and so from that angle, we're really passionate about helping small businesses in our local community grow and thrive, and we want to see business owners get what they initially wanted out of a business. We talked about, lifestyle, money, success. We want to help business owners find that success for themselves. Okay. And then on the SprayNet front, we recently negotiated a deal to where now we're the largest SprayNet franchise in the United States. We can go anywhere in the DFW Metroplex, and so I'm very excited about the trajectory of these two businesses, and so we're just in growth mode. We're pedal to the metal, looking at every opportunity, and trying to create freedom and success for our families.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. I'll go ahead, cut it right here, and then I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
thanks.
have a good one.